All right. Welcome back to another stream of Buddha
The
and
most
Psionics.
exciting Attack on Titan intro you will ever see for all time. This will sell you on Attack on Titan. This is what it's all about. Look at it. Conversations, reinforcing weapons. This is what gaming's all about.
Welcome to the interminable dating sim that is Attack on Titan.
I mean, to be fair, Zonix is the better sociopath, so... Well, narcissist, I think, is probably the better. Either way, actually.
A little column A, a little column B.
I mean, we're not bigots like that, you know? What is it called again? Dark Triad is Dark Triad.
Mm. And so we're starting Inferno mode, and we're gonna start doing a co-op Inferno mode, but I'm still worried about my friendships and conversations because okay, so the story
Just
mode
like a
and
narcissist,
yeah,
people have to like me, or else
they
I'm
do.
gonna-
They have to adore me. I'm the fucking hero of this goddamn story, even if I wasn't in the show. Plus, it's it's money. I like money.
Random side note for this game, that's actually something that I do enjoy about what they did, is instead of them switching off between, okay, you're Mikasa now, you're Armin now, you're Aaron now, whatnot. It's like, you know what? How about if we just made a third character, or a random character? Literally, doesn't Ensign Ricky, guy to the side, just happens to be around and happens to survive everything that's happening, and we use that for the conveyance of the story. And it's like, you know what? I actually like that because it won't do anything to mess with Aaron, Armin, Levi, Hengi. None of them will be affected. And on top of that, like, because that was actually one of my biggest questions when I first got the game was like, so can I get into like the top 10? Do I theoretically have the chance to join the military police? Nope. You're always guaranteed to lose on that front. Oh, okay, I can run with it. I mean,
Well, not only that, the best you can do is 12. Because
Yeah.
Ymir was 11th, it's like...
Yeah, I think they made some really good decisions with this game. They still need to fix some stuff. This is why I'm hoping for an Attack on Titan 3.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like this game certainly has plenty of room for improvement.
I don't know. But just a couple more days until the final episode.
Well, sort of. Because obviously there's more story going on.
Yeah, well, that's where, like you said, either it's going to be an OVA, in which case that's like longer term, like it's sort of like having a, well, no, because that won't work either. But it's kind of like sometimes having a special where they're a little bit longer, but also at the same time they could put more time into the art of it. I'm assuming, like they do what they can to get better best composers and shit like that. Just trying to literally hit the max with it.
Yeah. No, and anime movies have been doing pretty good recently, so it's
because they have good source material, unlike, I don't know, DC Comics. Oh, random thing, because it totally made me laugh. So the guy, well, actually, I guess you would know this, but the guy who played the Flash in the most recent DC bullshit.
yeah.
Apparently, well, A, he's a horrible drunk, which, like, seriously, coming from drunks, come on, man, fix yourself.
Well, yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I'm a drunk, but I'm a high-functioning alcoholic. Like,
And we're non-violent, too. This guy apparently is quite violent.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, there's no excuse to be a dysfunctional drunk. Not really.
I don't know. Honestly, I think we're the odd ones out when it comes to how we are when we're drunk.
Well, it's not even about how you are when you're drunk. It's a matter of you only drink when it's appropriate. Like, that's the thing that pisses me off the most about my stepbrother is he gets drunk literally like every fucking chance he can. And he's got like no self-control whatsoever. Like family get-togethers, like, it's Thanksgiving, I'm gonna get drunk. No, dude, it's family. Don't at least wait till the family. Yeah,
let's get drunk.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where and he's taken, his nieces and nephews out on, a razor to go four-wheeling, and it's like, and nobody has a fucking problem with this? Like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I just don't get it. Like, I've never had, like, when I'm going to be with family, I don't want to be drunk. Like, when I know I'm going to be around family, it's like, no, I need to be sober,
Yeah, I just think back to this one Mexican guy I was deployed with, and yes, he was Mexican. He was like, you know what? If you're not drinking, well, if you hold off drinking until, I think he said after 10 a.m., you're not considered an alcoholic.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, there's times when it's okay, and there's times when it's like, no, this isn't a good, this isn't right to do it right now. And I guess that's the difference between high functioning and, dysfunctional is I make that distinction where it's like, no, this is not a time when I am going to drink. I can say, no, I don't want to drink now. And maybe that's just the big distinction there, really.
Well, I just think back to it's I think it's sort of a I'm assuming Buddhist, I don't know, but it makes sense regardless. It's like, make sure when you drink, well, they say wine, but when you drink the alcohol, make sure you drink the alcohol doesn't drink you. So make sure you're always in control. You're not just like, woo, okay, woo. No. But
I'm not even necessarily going to say that, you can't fucking get blackout drunk. It's just, there's times when it's okay, and there's times when it's not okay.
But even then, I think that still fits into the category of you're controlling when, where, why, and how type thing.
Yeah.
Where if you're just like, no, I have to, then the drink is controlling you, in which case, nah, you got problems, and you need to fix those problems.
Yeah.
Well, oh, maybe.
This is my third friendship conversation with Sasha in a row.
Well, it's like I said, I think you can
Max sociopathy. But yeah, no. I've been thinking about what I'm gonna do with my money now that I basically have what I want at 99 Star Plus. But I think you're right. I think leveling up at least just basic guns, because that's just like there's plenty of time. Like there's a bunch of stuff in those territory recovery missions where they kill 40 Titans with guns, and it's like,
Yeah. That pissed me off so many times when I checked that out. Kill with firearms. Oh, you.
already maxed out friendship with Sasha.
She's just a friendly girl, I guess.
Yeah, she is. Like, I got her fucking down, man. I can't level up Marco anymore either, just because, I don't know, reasons. Apparently he has to die and be brought back before I can be friendly with him.
Oh, is that how the design work? Guess it's been a while since I saw season 3 of the show.
Yeah.
I thought when it came to the anti-personnel ODM gear, both the hooks and the gas canisters were linked to the arms, not the back. Of course, now I'm trying to figure out how the fuck you replace that. I mean, that's straight up there, like, that's the worst bra on the planet. Well, you gotta reach all the way back. And you have to do this in your combat situation. Here's another one that's like, dear God, how the fuck does that work? I don't think I'm supposed to ask questions. This one comes with a cape because it helps.
Capes always help, man.
And this looks like a jetpack. This one's a portable radio backpack.
Hooray, I can go to the regimental store.
This
What a privilege.
everything.
What's up, Jiho? Welcome to the stream, man.
How's your evening going? Or day, depending on where you are in the world.
Alright, I'm ready. You ready?
Yes,
Oh, fuck. Okay, I guess I gotta do this one by myself.
Oh no, this is just cut. Oh yeah, that's right. I think it's the like first mission where you just have to stand at the gate.
Yeah, no, we're starting on Inferno story mode. And
You gotta solo the first 3 to 4 missions.
yeah, the first 3 missions need to be soloed.
So we misprepped for this particular stream, especially since Ionix decided that he wanted to have all the conversations. You know, you just press start, and skip all that, right?
Skip.
But yeah, no, we're doing Inferno mode, which I guess technically is the second hardest difficulty, if you include...
It's the hardest for story and scouts, but it's, Oh, I need to destroy 10 Titan body parts. Okay. I need to quit fucking around.
Them limbs got to go.
Yeah, I'm a bit too used to territory recovery mode. The hole is already open. You don't need to kick it again.
You don't seem to understand how angry Bertolt is in this particular moment.
Aye, spoilers, man, spoilers.
Yeah, I know. This is the first time I've heard about Attack on Titan. I'm just here to watch. Sorry.
I had to use a restorative twice. Thank you. Alright, I guess I'll catch you. Since it's just a matter of destroying body parts right now. Normally this is supposed to be harder, but I'm pretty OP at the moment.
And just general game experience in these.
Yeah, that is true.
I remember having a much harder time with some of these, but you know what? Not really.
I wonder if that's one of the unique so there's the aha! Dire Titan alert! Huh?
He said one of the unique, and then he said, aha, Titan alert.
Dire Titan alert, sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's I was one of the standard 15 meters. I was thinking like maybe that's one of the 15 meters we've been missing to catch because it only literally shows up here.
And
So.
it's possible. The one that I got scared about was the one that it's like, oh, you're supposed to hookshot this. Ah, I captured it. Well, you failed the mission. Oh. Shit.
No. Fucking hate this mission.
Yeah.
I know how to hook dive. I don't fucking care. I already got the dire.
That's honestly the thing that gets me is the fact that to be here, you've already beaten the game. Am I really putting myself through a tutorial? Like, actually, this is the same issue that I have with the whole saving missions for 90 days on Icarus. Like, who's gonna stop playing, come back 90 days later, and be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna go back to that mission I was playing. They're not gonna remember shit.
No, they're not.
In which case, it's a waste of time. Like, the best that they could do is just, you know, launch themselves back up. In which case, you might as well just have them all be insuranced, as it were. And, oh, they didn't come back in, I would probably say 30 days at most. Then
the insurance is 33% of your total wealth. All right, so
is it total wealth or total reward?
All right. I can't put up a distress signal right now for some reason. Maybe we should just go to scout missions. I don't know why. I should be able to.
Yeah, no, you should be able to. I could have sworn we were able to co-op Tross.
Yeah, we did the first time through.
Okay, I guess let's just do scout missions then.
All right. Yeah. No, this is dumb. I don't understand what's going on here. I should be able to, unless I need to do another.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, what's the next mission that's on the list?
Well, it should be the first Trost mission, honestly.
Well, technically, what you did previously should have been the first Tross, but
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm not gonna burn wings on Alright. Great room. So we can do territory recovery mode.
I thought we could, but I think it still suffers the same thing as.
Well, we can. Well, we can do. Yeah, I have to have completed it, I think. So.
I mean. Yeah, no, that might actually be. Well, let's finish off the scout missions first. We're close to the end, I think.
Oh.
But yeah, no, if we could spend time, digging around in territory mode, especially on Nightmare, that's gonna give us our best returns.
All right, so we have not done this mission at all, as far as I can tell. Rooms up, taking a leak. You have skills to switch, I see.
Well, I was just trying to figure or remember how I had everything lined up because I switched some things. Guess I'll keep back from the brink just because I don't want to have to worry about that on. But yeah, no, right now, outside of certain things, I am straight up to kill mode. And because of some other things, right now I'm doing plus 20 leadership because it's like, no, I want to have at least a high approximation of being able to one shot with
Friends?
any of my characters. Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense, honestly.
And besides, having Levi and Mikasa just tear shit up that much more efficiently, I mean, splooge.
Sploosh.
Okay, so we need to make sure we don't lose any citizens. I know that's one of the main.
Yeah, we need to guard the
So I'll
shit out
take
of
care
this.
of what is, well, as far as I'm concerned, the right. So from Annie to the right, I'll take care of. You take care of Annie to the left.
怖いけどほっとけないし
I think about it, I guess I can tone it down. no longer in solo mode, so going for a straight up execution is no longer required.
Yeah, no, and you getting first and second on captures is still, it's good for goodies.
Yeah. Well, it's just more when I'm doing missions like this solo, you don't exactly have time to go around and capture like, okay, kill, kill, kill. Only thing that that I delay on is when it comes down to denial is when I see a large normal Titan, then I'll try to hold off.
Naturally.
Okay, so and with Hitch too, those are going to be escort missions. I believe you have to fight off. You have to fight off 3 waves of Titans, I believe.
Yeah, no, I'm just clearing shit out before she heads out.
Well, I'm just reminding you because if I remember right, I would see like the second one because as soon as you hit the bridge, it's like, oh, the bridge. That's the end of it. No, there's another attack across the bridge if I have members. So you have one pre-bridge, one on bridge, and one post.
Manufactory! I guess I can set up some bases while I wait for the Titans to show up. Yeah!
You're right, I also do
No,
that.
no, no. Come back, aristocrat. You're okay. You're okay. You'll be fine for a second. I'm just gonna go kill this abnormal real quick. I'll be back to defend your dumbass in just a moment.
In straight up looking shit.
What did we fail?
Wait, what?
You failed.
I'm here! Guess I was too cocky. I left it alone for a while. My apologies.
You were chewing me out.
I wasn't chewing you out. I was trying to inform. Apparently, that's one of those, hey, remember, don't fuck up like this. Punch myself in the face. Yeah, just like what I just did. Don't do that.
I just punched myself in the dick. Don't do that. Alright, well, I guess
Yeah,
that's
at
just...
this point, I'm trying. What was that saying? It's like, I guess if I have to, I'd rather be a great example of what not to do than anything else. I think we might still no, because
No, I don't have a... I'm just... We're done.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think that we can, but then I was thinking no, because there's that whole complete all side missions.
The best we can hope for out of this clusterfuck is an A.
You know what? That doesn't make any sense. How is Marco a better rank than Marlowe? Arlo's part of the military police.
That doesn't actually make any sense.
So, Buddha done fucked up. I will not be as loose from now on. Ugh.
I mean, we're pretty powerful, but you know, you still got to respect the fact that those little critters can still eat your fucking humans pretty quick.
I guess I need to think about the aristocrats the same way as what is it, predator or what have you.
Yeah. I mean, basically, that's what you have to do. The aristocrats are largely useless.
I hate starting in the middle map like this.
I know, like, it's...
I'm gonna go for Hitch.
Alright. Going for Marlo.
Okay, now if I remember right, this one we want to save... Is it 3 or 5 people in like 3 minutes? So we want to start off focusing on just rescue.
Alright. Full murder mode activated.
You're safe, Hitch. Stop just sitting there.
And he's closer to me, I'm going to her.
Going for Nile. You know, that's actually kind of the great thing about being done with abnormal so early is pretty much by the end of this, almost everything's going to be abnormal.
Yeah. I mean, I still like the catch for the weekly rewards and shit like that.
Yeah. Go for army.
お前の実績に貢献したってことで許してくれ。
あんたみたいな見てて面白いバカが死んだら私の兵団生活つまんなくなるじゃん。
立ててくれるか。
I mean to do that, but okay, whatever.
取り掛かろうか。
So we got another garrison base.
You know the worst thing about having too many garrison bases is?
Nothing.
Well, it just means you have to replace them eventually. There's one manufacturing. Manufacturing.
助かりました。もっと慎重に行動しろ。
見直したよ。あんたも根性あるね。
Other manufacturing.
拠点を頼むぜ。
Oh.
相手してやるな。 なんとかしねえと。 相手してやるな。なかなか鋭い斬撃だ。
There's the dyer. Yep, nope. Stun and kill. I'm going to the corner then.
Must put down another mini factory. And another mini factory. Niall!
Yeah, nah, Nile has been great for this.
I mean, I wish I would have gotten a neck cutter too, but you know, yeah.
It is what
If
it
I
is.
just have to live with Niall, I'll live with Niall.
You can still stun everything.
Nah. Well, it's more stun, execute, stun, execute. But to be fair, minus Annie, I'm one-shotting as soon as they're stunned, so...
Yeah.
A roof. Give me a sec.
You got
But
it.
yeah, no, it's one of those things that when you're doing some of these missions, especially on the higher star difficulty solo,
Mhm.
taking time out to capture and whatnot, half the time it's just like, nope, just execute, execute, execute.
Yeah, no,
Which,
you basically just gotta murder everything you can as fast as you can.
of course, the thing that sucks is apparently there's more people who are taking advantage of whatever glitch in the system, because top person's at 16,000, next one's at like 14,000. It's like,
Those fuckers have gotta be cheating somehow. There's
well,
no
they
way
have
you
to
can.
be, because it's day one that they're doing it. And they also have like no mission completion and shit like that.
I mean, the only other option I could think of is that, like, the creators of this game said, okay, at the bare minimum, like, you want first place, you need to at least do this many, whatever, whatever. But either those fuckers are straight up cheating, or they're like artificial high scores that the game designers put in that said, if you want to get the first place reward, you need to at least do this much. But
No, because it only applies
15,000
to
eliminations.
eliminations.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never seen it with capture. Well, outside of question mark cheating and fuck that guy. But I've never seen it with capture. I've never really seen it with S clears or mission clears and stuff like that. It's just elimination. Day one, there's always like one person who's just like, oh yeah, I know, I got 12,000 kills already. It's been like 30 minutes since the
Yeah.
start of the week. Yeah,
No,
I've got 16,000. Okay, good.
Don't you get 16,000 kills in the first 30 minutes of playtime?
I mean, when I'm sloughing it, yeah, obviously. Going for Marlowe.
Going for Hitch.
Well, no, that's not true.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Hitch is pretty useless.
Well, it's like I noticed last time. Why is it that Marco is a B rank and he wasn't even in the top 10, where the guy who's part of the military police, okay, you know, C, whatever. I'm half thinking that Niall should be like a B class after that.
You probably should, honestly.
What can I say? We hate bureaucrats.
And there's always the argument that the 104th was just exceptionally talented.
Yes, one of them right here. See your two Aristocrats. I'm not gonna lie, I was about to say Democrats. Okay, Marlo finally saved. Thank you.
あの縁談苦戦してるな。行くぞ。
I may have let that one go. Niall!
ありがとうマルロ。口だけじゃないんだね。
I believe in you, Niall.
俺は将来
You are my hero. And I accidentally summoned the
Oh,
Bizarres.
Psionic is not my hero.
Oh,
I think the
good. Fuck, damn it. Niall? Niall? Niall?
煙の色ってさ、
Bits.
Please? Apparently I had to kill one of the bosses to save Niall. Not my fault.
救援をよこせ。
Hey. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be, you know, demoralized if you ate Hitch, but it's not your Hitch, that's my Hitch. And towards Marco and or Ensign Ricky. Killing a second boss real quick. So really, we didn't have to complete all side missions.
Like I said, every once in a while, side missions isn't precisely required. I mean, don't get me wrong, 9 times out of 10, it is.
Yeah, it's just most of the time it's complete all side missions is part of the requirement for getting the Dire. That's...
I'm gonna kill the Titan across the bridge, which will leave us one bossy Titan.
Yeah. Did you pick a fight with the Dire?
I already killed it.
Okay.
It was an armor Titan.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, it's situations like this that has me asking some questions. This is now the second time that we've got, that we've gotten this exact same quartet.
Well, I just think this is the allies available for this particular scout mission.
I mean, I guess it's true. They're all military police, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just this is the military police thing. Bye, Nick. I hate your religion.
Maria, Rose, and the other one didn't do nothing wrong. Cena.
The one the military police actually give a shit about. Oh. I hate it when my own fucking allies shoot the shit out of me with a cannon. Ooh, Niall, stun. So that's an Annie over there. I just
相手してやるか
took a second to
お前のようなやつ
stun and kill the rest of the critters.
空気も引き締まるだ
But Annie can go ahead and die now.
分かった
Any night. Oh. I want to get the final attack.
Yeah, you got the bazaar. That counts for 2 at least.
I was gonna say Annie is a bazaar.
Well, the dire, sorry.
I know what you meant. The dire. Yeah. Guess if you think about it, yeah, the military police, according to the anime, we only have Annie, Marlowe, Hitch, and Nile.
Okay. Well, we only got an A on this one, so I'm inclined to do it. Finish it up. I'm gonna make a refill.
Oh. This is where I take the time to do the monotonous things like reinforce first generation ammo belt.
You're doing that without a regimental.
Well, I already bought a chunk of the belts, so right now I'm just doing the reinforcement aspect, so
Oh, okay.
I'm not losing much money going this route. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty much done.
I probably need to go through and just max out my guns, and since I'm not,
Oh.
I have everything I want on the sword side.
Good to go.
Now, no letting your pompadour die.
I'll be on that person like a Disney employee at elementary school.
立ててくれるか一気にやっちまえなんとかしねえとやってやるよ やるしかねえだろ
Come on, at least give me Nile again. And why does Marco keep showing up? Oh, no, that's... okay.
Marlowe.
Marlo looks a lot like Marco. What can I say?
He does.
Memories like that. You get the full haircut, like, oh, ew, punishment for failure in Hitch. Oh, I was right. There is Marco, right there. Boom.
It doesn't make me happy.
さあ始めてよ
Better than Hitch or Marlo.
Alright, Niall. Let's escort this useless twat across the river.
Don't spaz out. Get moving.
拠点を頼むぜなぜここに巨人がいるのだここを拠点にするよ
There we go. It's cleared. Start moving.
あんたなら余裕だろやったな了解だ
Gonna go back to hold her purse.
ありえませんわ
やってやるよ
Go, Marlo.
Go, go, Marlowe. Go, Marlowe. Go, go, Marlowe.
What are you doing back there, aristocrat? It's cleared. Completely cleared. so cleared, I'm using one of the handful of times to actually replace my blades in my air canister.
Run across the bridge!
Okay, there might be a glitch thing on my end.
Mine's stuck too. Let's give it a second.
安全を求めて内地に来たというのに
Mine's moving. Yours moving?
Mine's still pissing herself. I mean, I've cleared the 3 groups of Titan thus far.
お前のような奴がいれば憲兵団の空気を
Alright, I'll head that way as soon as I clear.
Well, Hitch is talking. She was the one connected to my end. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So mine's done, even though
働きですわ
the
ね
aristocrat never moved.
この上は
I'm not gonna complain about this.
他ありません
Well, I'm gonna complain about the fact that, hey, look, you might be losing because glitch. Oh, random programming question. Oh, this might be a little more game than programming.
Yeah.
So, when we're not looking at a Titan, is it still kind of processing? This is how the Titan's moving. This is what the Titan's doing. This is what the Titan's gonna look like while it's doing it.
If the game is well optimized, it won't draw things that aren't visible.
我々をコケにして
But at the same time, once it becomes visible, the game's gonna be like, well, it was in the middle of doing this, so that's where it's gonna be showing you what's going on.
人分の働きを見せよ
Having the state sort of saved isn't a horrible drain on resources, but it does largely depend on how they've programmed the game. Provided they're not drawing things unnecessarily, which, you know, ultimately, like I said, depends on how good the programming team is.
Yeah.
But if the game is properly optimized, what the Titans are doing when they're not in view is largely irrelevant.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. I'll activate the bosses. You take care of the dire.
Nice! Stun!
But yeah, no, it was a weird thought that came to mind. Sort of like, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, just make a sound. If no one's around to see a Titan, is it really attacking?
Are you working on your second boss?
Yes.
Okay. I'll leave the
There's
third
only
boss
one
alone.
left. Oh, I was gonna capture that one.
やってやるよ司令長
You can capture this one.
Why would I want to capture a dire fatty?
無理だよ
I was just kidding. I wasn't gonna let you catch it.
He's a liar.
I'm a terrible person, I know.
Right. There we go.
That's S.
You know what SS stands for? Super special.
Super Saiyan.
What did SS stand for in Germany, anyways? I don't think I've ever heard it. Stated, explained, defined. They were just the SS.
Ugh. I hate this.
Gonna say it looks like we have to do Warriors of History.
Yeah, we have to do Warriors of History. I'm gonna go pee because of frustration.
The rage.
It's a rage pee.
We're warriors, warriors of the world. Kind of wish I could listen to that right now, but I mean, who's gonna remember? Fail. Dropping the band name now. Man of War. Who's gonna remember Man of War's history or Warriors of the World? I mean, come on.
I just got an email from Twitch saying that they know likey people playing music.
助けてください。相手してやるか。
Me, I'm coming.
At least not copyrighted music.
やってやるよ。やるしかねえだろ。悪かった。ここまでやれるとは成長した。
You know, that's in a lot of ways. I find that as stupid as so. I guess to a certain extent, technically, there's the ability to copyright Twitch or for games and whatnot. But most people realize, why would I do that when, if anything, it'll actually attract eyes to playing the games. In which case, it's become less of an issue, you know, since the bad old days, as it were. Where if I start playing, or well, if we start playing, you know, because I have the urge right now, Man of War. I mean, I only heard of Man of War by accident by a guy on my second deployment.
Yeah.
So, having your music played, oh, but you're making money. Your music is not exactly helping that, or if it is, it's because of, like, you know, general flavor and taste. If anything, we might be sending people your way. No, we're still gonna do. I mean, obviously, don't do the most recent, whatever her name is, Cardi B or whatever. I don't care about her, your WAP or what have you.
Yeah. Oh, fucking Levi? Okay, that might change things.
Seriously. Going for him. And we have 1D left. Come on, Keith, give me a free battle signal. That doesn't really matter because I'm already prepped for the constant use of battle signal. Like, honestly, I think if we weren't already loaded for bear for, like, item usage and whatnot, this mission might actually not be too bad, having an entire list of people who just make you have unlimited gas and blade. But I already have unlimited gas and blade. I don't need 3.
Yeah.
And sorry, Krista or Historia.
You do not belong in this goddamn mission.
I will gladly feed you 2 Titans, especially since unless it's 1.
What's up, Relax? This mission, I believe, is taking place in Trost, but it's a scout mission, so it's not
I was gonna say
actually.
it's a scout mission, so it's
Yeah, this isn't part of the story at all, in any stretch of the imagination.
this is straight up side made up bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm going after Ymir. Okay, good. Didn't activate the boss.
救援要請の縁談だ退社しろ兵長お願いします
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I wish that they would have made a few more cityscapes, as it were.
Oh, I remember this bullshit about the Merchant Association boss.
Yep.
And I guess the...
Eat it, Levi. I want this Titan in 1/8 cubes. All of it.
You're on your own. I'm being attacked by Bazaars.
That's fine. Like I said, I think I know how to take care of this. Because the glitch for this mission is they start running into fucking walls, and you have to like literally push them out or off the walls as they're running into the walls. It's nice.
お願いします紛れもなく特殊な巨人だ
Come on, Ymir. Shepherd your useless people.
突撃だ 拠点を頼むぜ
Looks like I ran into another glitch. Well, kick ass.
Come on, move your fat ass, Merchant Boss.
No, he's already there. Oh, those are the... God damn it, I thought it was just the merchant boss. I don't think I had to worry about the goddamn aristocrats. Yeah, no, the merchant boss made it all the way to the end without any titans spawning, so I was like, oh, shit. Then we're done.
No, he's,
See, for me, he's already at the gate.
Yeah, no, I remember this side quest is glitched. I have to be here for this.
No, it is glitched. I just thought it went exceptionally smoothly for me this time. Alright, I'll leave this to you to take care of then.
Yeah, you can kill one more of the bosses. Alright.
Oh, hello, Ymir. Levi wants to say hi.
Don't do your
You're not a
Naruto run.
virtuous citizen. Actually, that's a lie. He is a virtuous citizen. He's just a dick, too.
Yeah, no, he's Merchant Boss is stuck.
Yeah, no, push him as he's jumping. Like, run, no, just run towards him.
I
Every
tried.
time or as he's jumping up, it'll slowly push him away.
He's not jumping. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, you have to do the same thing with the aristocrats. Can't see, so can't help.
何かを変えられるのは特別な人間だけだ
A little sad to know that even after a year or so, they still haven't fixed the glitch shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one boss left as far as I can see.
Yeah,
so.
no, I got him unstuck. God, it was just such a stupid fucking glitch.
Yep.
Alright, he's done.
Now we just have to wait for the spawning of the... There it is. Yes, yes,
That
yes.
shit.
作戦を始めるぞ
I got this. You go to the boss. I'm just gonna Levi this shit and beat him down. I'm worried about time at this point.
Let me know when he's dead.
You game. Kill it. Fuck this mission right in its ear.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hate this stupid fucking broken ass mission.
Definitely top of the worst missions of this game. But currently, well, we're having minor issues, but we're both on now trying to push through on Inferno mode. But apparently there's a bit of an issue on Inferno mode for the first couple of missions in Trust, which I don't know why.
This next one I only have an S on, so we can do this next one.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so for this mission, we have to lose less than 5 allies. And I believe when it says allies, it means our Ensign Rickies and what have you, not just, you know, citizens.
Roger. Yeah. I would say we are definitely ready for the finale.
Oh, I am. Of course, the sad part is like, I'm hoping Psyonix is right, because he was saying that apparently the rumors are that they're planning on either doing a movie or OVAs or something like that, but when it comes straight down to it, there's so much information still left unspoken where it's like, I want to know. Like, I don't just want there to be, because there's no way the next episode can give a satisfactory ending to the story. Like, it is quite literally impossible.
And like I said, I really don't think it will. I think the whole point is they're going to announce a movie or an OVA or something like that.
Fuck Hitch. I don't like Hitch.
Nobody likes Hitch. No, it's going to be a standard length episode. And they're gonna leave the... Oh, I just got hit by a fucking cannon.
No. I think it's gonna be standard, also. I mean, Zonix has done the research. I'm just assuming. But even then, let's pretend it is an hour. They just can't give enough information. They can't do enough. Especially...
Well, and there's like
assuming
7 chapters left to the manga that's going to be left untold. I think is what they were saying. Whoa, whoa, Oro.
オロさん任せますよ
Replace Hitch.
言ってやるよ救援ありがとうございます相手してきて何をやってる
Building a tower.
死にたいのか
Stay away from the process.
I didn't mean to.
Okay, 'cause there's gonna be another couple of waves coming already. Oh, hello, Ymir. Sorry, I'm taking care of one of the cousins.
まだまだやれるじゃろわしの力で良いなら役立ててくれ
お怪我はありませんか
どうした自分の心配だけしとけ
Dire elimination is up. You haven't killed 2 bosses, have you?
No, I'm about to take on one though. It's Ymir.
Don't. I've killed 2. Don't kill a second.
Like I said, just killing Ymir. Ymir's gone. Going for the boss titan's coming after me. Oh, that's right. That's why we didn't get a perfect score last time. It was my fault. I killed the final boss while you were taking on the Dire, and that was why.
Oh, right for that. I'm still clearing.
Dire Titan's killed. No, and the other thing that comes to mind, sorry just for the delay on this, but just think about it, the last handful of, I was about to say missions, the last handful of episodes, well, we only lost a couple.
Holy God, that was a fucking cluster fuck.
But you have to think,
That's
like,
all of
the
them, right?
pace- yeah, everything, well, as far as I can tell, everything he said.
Good. Alright.
Kill one, kill some. But yeah, no, you just have to think with the pace of like the last, I don't know, what, 5-6 episodes, like it's very slowly moving the story forward. It's not giving us a lot of new information. Hell, I would even argue it's not even giving us that much character development. The Xionyx hasn't caught up to the last handful of
No,
episodes.
I'm halfway through the final season,
But yeah, no, when it comes straight down to it, like the amount of progress that's happened has been negligible. So that's where, I mean, I'm excited for the final episode, but at the same time, unless they're straight up going from what I could only assume to be first gear and somehow supercharging it all the way to 5th gear, I just don't think that they're going to be adding that much. Like, I'm excited. I still want to see it, obviously. But I'm not exactly, you know, to steal from Breaking Bad, to mess it with anticipation, as it were, because I'm there's something coming after. I want to be prepared for the after. So right now, ouch, I'm about to get in trouble. Right now, I'm kind of feeling like when Captain Marvel got released after the Infinity Wars. I just don't think anything of real importance is going to be happening at this point because nothing's been leading up to it. They're just, sorry, spoiler. They're going to the mainland again. Hooray. There's more to do. There's more to it, and I want to know about the more. Going to Uru. Oh, and speaking of which, just as a true rant, or as a side note, so I told Psionics he's already seen everything up to, well, the current season at least, and he was waiting for the season to be complete to start, and I was telling him, you need to watch the first 5 episodes, mainly for the last 3 episodes, just so you can, or because he was planning on rewatching the entire series at least one more time. And I was like, you know what? Watch the first 5 episodes of current season, watch, and then go back to the first season. And apparently, there's actually some connections in there that I didn't even know was existing.
Yeah, no, there's my opinions about dude's foresight have changed dramatically.
縁談か救援に向かおう
Because, like, literally the very first episode is like 1,000 years into the past, a message to myself or whatever.
Yeah, it's 2,000 years, I believe. But yeah, either way, it's like it gives a hint to the whole spoiler.
Yeah.
To the whole the attack titan can, in a sense, transcend time.
Well, and, like, the thing that really blew my fucking brain right out my butthole was the Mikasa's headaches.
Yeah.
Or they have them in fucking season 1. Like, her first headache that you see is when they're still kids before the first attack.
新兵扱いする必要はねえ
Yeah, you're gonna have to inform me on that one. What does the headache signify with Mikasa, though?
Yeah, Mikasa has been having headaches.
No, I get that, but what does that signify?
I don't know what it
Outside
signifies. It was just one of those
Okay.
things that Armin told Mikasa is that, yeah, me and Eren have known about your headaches for a long time. And they show her having headaches. Like, her first headache is in the first goddamn episode.
See, I always figured her headaches were more based off of her traumatic childhood. I mean, that's just obviously straight assumption. I have no idea, but that's what I was assuming was.
Well, I can't speak to why she's having the headaches. I don't understand that. I'm just saying that in season 4, part 2, they talked about. Armin was talking to Mikasa and saying, "Yeah, I know. Me and Eren have known about your headaches for a long time." And you go back to season 1, episode 1, and Mikasa has one of her fucking headaches in that goddamn episode.
Yeah.
And she, her headaches are like, they're subtle, but you see her fucking put her forehead to her head, and like, you see her that she clearly has a fucking headache.
Just to be a dick to put it out. Put her forehead to her head. But yeah, no, I don't know. And I have to admit, I was kind of torn on that particular. I mean, I agree. I'm sure.
Well, her headaches are clearly important to the story.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, this is where I was having a bit of a weird disconnect because one of the big things that stuck out. Now, it's more him trying to like sacrifice himself for the greater good type thing. But the one that really pissed me off, it was sort of the tail end revelation of season 4, part 1. I think like the final episode or one of the final episodes is when Eren's talking to Mikasa and Eren is going, you know what? Your urge to protect me is because I got the founding titan inside of me. Which cannot be accurate because
she's
that
been
started
protecting him since before he had the founding titan.
Yeah. So that can't be accurate, but at the same time, you can't deny the significance of ultimately, yeah, Mikasa's been protecting Eren. And, obviously the simple answer is, well, Eren helped save Mikasa from being, put into a pedophile ring and passed around and blah, 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 blah.
But the thing is, that first event with Mikasa, where she went fucking Super Saiyan and she broke the floor with her foot and she stabbed dude.
And that was after Eren, and that's where it adds credibility
but that was before.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's part of the issue. It's before he had the founding titan, but at the same time, it adds credibility to something about Eren, I guess, or something about the situation led to her going Super Saiyan, where she's breaking the floor. Yeah, when he told her to fight for her life, it actually goes straight up into like X-ray vision. Her muscles are going hyper constrictive. The floorboards are being broken. Like she is going straight up Super Saiyan. Like if
yeah,
there's a better term for it, she is unlocking ultimate potential. But why? Is it because of the situation? Is it because of the command? Is there something unique about Eren? Because Eren's father is not noble. He just happened to bang a noble. I'm gonna go pee real
yeah.
quick.
Well, okay. Well, and I was just
I,
saying that there's certain points where Aaron has like flashes of the future,
yeah.
and that's almost certainly the Attack Titans
Wow. Sorry,
about.
sorry. I don't know if this is gonna be stepping on our toes, but think about it. What if Eren's flashes to the future is influence of the future to the past?
They are.
But then that leads to the issue of, or the same issue me and you always have is Eren had to get um to the attack titan first and get the founding titan, and then he would have had to realize the importance of Mikasa, and then that would have led to him having an effect on Mikasa. Just simply, oh, Mikasa's important. It kind of makes me think back to, sorry for a random side, is StarCraft, or StarCraft 2 to be more precise, when all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, no, Kerrigan, she's the most important character, but you guys killed her. And so if there's not continuity that leads to Eren going, oh wow, it was actually kind of important that I save Mikasa, then there would be no saving or having Mikasa, as far as I can tell. I don't know.
Well,
For
but
all I
no.
know, maybe she gets.
To go in line with that, I believe, my opinion at this point in time, is that future Aaron adjusted the past to save Armin, because Armin was supposed to be killed by the same Titan that ate Aaron. And when you're watching the show through season 1, Aaron is on the verge of unconsciousness. He's on the roof. He's blacking out. An Armin is getting eaten by Santa, and you watch Armin go in and Santa swallow. And
Yeah.
Aaron's just like, he's just fucking dazed the fuck out of his mind. And then it cuts over to Armin going back into Santa's mouth, and Aaron jumps in, grabs Armin, and pulls him out. I would argue that
Huh.
Aaron went back in time using his power to save Armin at that particular moment in time, because he knew he would be fine.
Yeah. Sorry, hold on, one pause. I think Ackerman blood does have an attribute to it, but the problem is like something unlocked it. Because that was the thing that Aaron pointed out in one of the last episodes of season 4, for our first half of season 4, was that because he's royal, she can like literally break. Well, because part royal, part founding titan, whatever. She
But
can
Aaron's
literally
not
like
royal.
surpass. But Ackerman blood is actually immune from
The royal
like a certain
commands.
expedition. But it is immune from the mind wiping, mind rearranging, whatever that the nobles have. And it's because of that where it's like, and I still argue that the Ackermans aren't exactly, born super culture people, as it were. I mean, they could be. I don't know. There's not enough information. It's more the fact that they are immune to the mind erasing. Well, the problem is the mind erasing is all limited to the Eldians. So I'm assuming that they wanted somebody like that just so that they didn't have to constantly be like, okay, you're super soldiers, your goal is to constantly protect the royal family, blah 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 blah. So I don't know if they're gonna argue something like genetic perfection when it comes to the Ackerman clan, the Ackerman bloodline, because that just, I mean, it's pretty much the only reason that comes to mind. But even then, that was somehow, somewhere in the past, I guess the Ackermans betrayed the Royals, in which case there was that execution order, which is why there's quite literally like 3 Asian-esque type people in this entire island now. You have Mikasa, you have Levi, and then you have his uncle. I'm totally forgetting his name.
立ててくれるか
He was the guy
Oh.
with the hat.
No, I know exactly who you're fucking talking about.
やるしかねえだろ相手してやるかやってやる
But that's, well, and you can't deny that the 3 strongest people in this system, in this, I was about to say game next, in
Universe.
this story, are Ackermans.
Kenny!
Have the,
Kenny!
oh, it was Kenny. Fuck, I forgot. Thank you.
いえいえ
Thank you so much.
制してんのか
For a second, I thought you said Annie. I was like, Annie? That doesn't make sense. I'm not seeing Annie on the screen. I'm going after Dad.
もう新兵扱いする必要はねえやるしかねえだろ
Yeah. And he was the one, and yeah, because they had to live underground, that explains why Mikasa's mother was ultimately living in some random place in the middle of the forest is to protect herself. It explains why Levi's mother was ultimately some like underground prostitute, because ultimately the only way you can survive is, you know, in the shadows. And she went for the extreme on that. And then Kenny, who was the cousin, he lived in the underground too. But he became, you know, straight up hardcore assassin.
相手してやるか
I mean, don't get me wrong, there is something special about the Ackermans. I'm just not 100% sure how far I want to push Ackerman speciality, as it were, for what's going on and why. We're gonna be activating bosses anyways. Do you want to wait for those titans to come through, or do you want me to activate the boss?
Well, I'm going after the titans that are coming through.
I know, but do you want me to just sort of sit on my thumbs, join you?
You can activate the boss, that's fine.
やっぱりすごいな
But yeah, no, for me, I still, my initial assumption, I should say, has been that the Ackermans, okay, pulling back because Dire is summoned. There it is, taking care of the Dire. Also spawning a bunch of regular things. But my assumption still has been that
あの巨人は新兵の
somehow the Ackermans developed a connections with the LT and royalty, and that led to them becoming the royal guard, as it were. And you know, maybe they just did have exceptional potential. Maybe the Eldian royalty somehow saw the potential and nurtured it. Maybe eugenics or what have you. I have no idea. But there was some connection, and I still think part of it comes down to Dire's been killed.
なんでそこまで
I still think that it comes down to that having a group of people who are immune to the mind wiping is actually still a good thing for multiple reasons. And then eventually it backfired. But like we just covered, you can't overlook the fact that
やるしかねえだろ
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What the fuck did you just do?
there was a fatty crawler who went in rage mode and that just killed Daz and Levi, which shouldn't happen.
This is why we can't have nice things, Buddha.
Seriously. But yeah, no, you can't overlook the fact that it's the Acromans who happen to be the most badasses. And even then, I'm just using this game as a example. The only other two S's that I can think of are Michi and Irwin. Irwin is a command signal, and Michi is a neck cutter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I want to know about the Acromans. I want to know why the LDN royalty decided to A, just sneak away to an island, B, decided to leave well, at least a sizable chunk of the population that obviously would become ever growing, even living in a concentration camp. What exactly, like, do we get to have any information from Aaron from the future? Or whatever Attack Titan from the future? Huh?
I'm gonna go take a leak and make a refill. Be right back.
But yeah, no, and I'm not gonna lie, that was a very fascinating twist. Is the Attack Titan, for some reason, can communicate back in time, and I am somebody who is very, what do I want to say, strict, anal retentive. But like, when you start fucking with time, you need to do it properly, and that's where the fact that they did fuck with time is why I told Zionix, it's like, hey, dude, you gotta watch the first 5 episodes, then you go back to episode 1. And if I remember, well, he was the one who was telling me, I still haven't done it yet. He's like, you know what? Like, or episode 3, 4, or 5, one of those two, and season 4, or season 4 part 2, is 2000, or a message 2000 years to the past, and then the very first episode is message 2000 years from the future or something like that. In which case, you know, it is complicated, but it's also the fact that you have to think, if you were to change, you know, it's kind of butterfly effect type thing. Butterfly flaps its wing, it produces a hurricane, you know, 1,000 miles away or what have you. If you change little things in the past, it's gonna have drastic changes in the future. And Zionic, like Zionix was saying earlier, his first change, or one of the first true changes that happened, was Eren going back to when he was younger and saving Armin from being eaten. And to be fair,
And I think that was the second thing he did. The first thing he did was warn himself about the Colossal Titan attack.
See, I figured it would have been well, the first two things I think would have been is A, the effect he had on Mikasa. Second would have been brain fart. It just went away. So
I don't know,
the first one.
But the thing is can the Attack Titan affect? So in order for that to work, the Attack Titan would have been able to affect Eren's past before he became the Attack Titan.
Yes, but at the same time, if he can reach into his past, some of the future effects would have bled through. Which would, but like and who knows? Maybe that's the sort of like weird aspect. Like,
I don't know. I would be upset if Eren could affect. Well, he has to have affected his life before he became the Attack Titan.
Well, here's the two options: either A, he can only affect previous Attack Titans, or B, he can affect himself and previous Attack Titans. That seems to be like the two options that exist. And that's where, if you are going back to when Zeke is trying to manipulate him, when they're back and he's seeing himself, you know, after he's ate Mikasa and whatnot, and it's like, look at that, your father doesn't care, just like he never cared for me, type blah blah blah. And he's just looking at it like, no, he cares for me, and I know this, that, and the other. Like, he is straight up a solid rock. This is woohoo! Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that. But he's straight up just like, yeah, I see this. I know what's happening. So he must have been able to, in a sense, look back and see what's happening and look at things too. So his ability to affect the past is equivalent to his ability to perceive the past. Now the question is, though, is could he only affect his father? Well, not only his father, because he could still communicate back to.
Well, I feel like he
guy.
has to have been able to. Fucking. I hate those stupid cutscenes. Like, I understand why they're there, I understand why they exist, but they fucking piss me off.
You know, actually, right now, just as a random. Sorry. Oh, wow.
私が向かいます拠点を頼むぜ私だって私だって立ててくれるな
And that's another good point about, like, you know, the death of the Levi squad. Like, Aaron could have affected that, but he chose not to.
Well, see, and this is where I think we go back to what is essentially future Aaron, where he is straight up. How do I put it? Like, I want to say Machiavellian. Not that he's just like, okay, take advantage of people's weaknesses, but he is sitting there going, okay, what changes, like, because, like I was saying earlier, you know, what minimum changes can I make for the outcome that I want? Because if I just start going crazy with changes, this is going to end up destroying me type thing.
Yeah.
And that's where, I don't know if he has a perfect account of, if I make this change, this happens. If I make this change, this happens. I'm just assuming that he's like, okay, what changes do I need to make? And him going, you know what, saving Army is a required change. Because this, okay, so let us pretend, you know.
I don't even necessarily
like
know
said,
saving Armin was required change.
no, but just listen to this. So, let's pretend Armin was meant to die initially. Does that mean Aaron doesn't become Titan during the battle on Tross, but he survives? Does he become crippled? And who knows, maybe that's actually part of the form he takes when he's in whatever the place is called with the outside world, not the Eldians,
Well, the thing is he had to have. There has to be the first pass, and this is what I wish they would do with the time travel shit. Is you have the first pass through time where you're not affecting the timeline because you haven't reached the point where you can affect the timeline.
And for me,
and then you go through the story again with the effects on the timeline along with the unintended consequences that brings.
For me, the only one that comes to mind, and it's literally been the only thing that's been a time travel anything that I've been able to run with. It still has some issues, still needs to be polished, but I enjoy, is the Legacy of Kain series. It's a video game.
Yeah.
But what happens is there's a character named Kain who, there's way too much lore. So what happens is he gets set on the path to do something because he's helping to fix the world and to too much lore. I don't know how to shorten it. But what happens is when he's going through going through his life the first time, you're going through the first time, and this is, the timeline. But then something important happens near the end of the game, which completely changes the past. And in which case, all you really have to do is justify certain events happening pretty much the same way, but for different reasons. And then that can just smooth everything out. Because what happens is, initially, he's going down, or he's going to, what was it called, Cornhole or something like that. I forget the name of the city. And then he gets executed. I'm assuming he's going down there to take on some scouts from William the, or what was his name? Evil William. It was something negative. But when it came to the second time through, he probably would have gone down there to take on, the vampire cord. In which case, he's still going to certain locations for certain reasons. The reasons are the same but different. Like I said, there's too much lore. I wish I could explain it more, but it would take literally a couple of hours. But so I think, but like you said, you need to have that first time through, and then you need to justify certain changes and show the ripple effect of said changes. Guess I'll go to Zachary. Drop down. But yeah, when it comes to timeline changes, I literally become as extreme as possible, where it's like, well, then how do you explain this? How do you explain this? And that's where, I'm torn between, I want them to explain what's happening, and I want them to just ignore it, because chances are them trying to explain it is actually going to piss me off more.
Well, if you thought it out, and that's what I was saying, is a well thought out time travel story, I feel like you have to have the first run, and then you have to have at least a second run where you go through and you start making change, because you have to get to the point where you can make changes, and then you go and you try and make things better or different.
Actually, the one thing that comes to mind the most, sorry again, is the movie Loopers. You remember that movie?
I do. I fucking hated it.
See, I actually kind of enjoyed it. But the thing is you still needed the impetus, the first time that sending back people back in time became a thing. Well, not that it became a thing, because from the sound of it, it was a thing. But the Rainmaker, or whatever the bad guy's name was supposed to be, you needed him to be made somehow.
Yeah.
And then after he was made, you needed to have his continued existence to be justified based on the fact of at least the main character. So initially, let's say kid had a hit squad sent to his house. Mommy saves him, he gets away, but he remembers that it was like mafia-esque group was sent to kill him and his mom, and that fucks him up, so he becomes the lead of the mafia, in which case he starts to do what he can to execute, old soldiers of the mafia. And this leads to him executing the loopers, or whatever the fuck they were called, I forget. The people who who kill people who are sent back in time.
Yeah.
And then after that, that leads to, protagonists are being put on the list to be executed. Now, protagonist gets sent back in time and tries to change it, which leads to future self replacing what the past hit squad. Now, you need to make it to where past self ends up killing past hit squad for some reason, and then ends with, in a sense, executing yourself. But no, I guess even then that wouldn't work. That would just still If you kill the impetus, the loop doesn't exist.
And that's the big problem is you have to have the first loop, and you have to have
The first loop has to justify everything else, and it has to continue justifying everything else,
and all
regardless
your
of
changes have to maintain the loop. I mean, Aaron needing Armin to become the Colossal Titan, that's perfectly fucking valid in my mind. But at the same time, Aaron's saving Armin's life was so far removed from when Armin became the Colossal Titan. Like, I feel like there has to be 3 or 4 runs through. Like, it's one of those things, like, maybe the Attack on Titan, you know, story as it exists now is based off of Eren fucking with the past hundreds or even thousands of times to get exactly.
What you have to think though is all Attack Titans would have been fucking with the timeline to reach what they would assume to be the optimal timeline.
Yeah, that is true. And Eren
Actually,
could, in essence, fuck with all Attack Titans before him. Now, granted, most of them he wouldn't need to worry about.
You know, actually, a funny thought to have is you have to think Aaron's father was literally just so he could give Aaron the Attack Titan. Like, he actually was making no true time-changing decisions. He was just giving the Founding Titan. He was... He was just... He made Aaron. He got the Founding Titan, and he died. That is, like, literally his extent. He was literally a holdover character, as it were. Hold the door! Actually, I feel bad for Holdor, but... No, and like I said, I'm torn. I want them to continue the story. I want to know more, but at the same time, their ability to fuck it up is extreme. I am somebody that if you don't land the ending, you piss me off a lot. Like one series that Psionic still hasn't finished is the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. It's a great series in so many ways. Like, this guy did a phenomenal job. The last book, or at least the ending of the last book, I should say, is a travesty. I want to bitch slap the guy. Like, what Will Smith did to Chris Rock, like, multiply that by 1,000. Like, I am very...
We weren't supposed to talk about Will Smith anymore, man.
What? It's topical. But, yeah, no, he's great. But when it comes to that goddamn ending...
Endings are hard. They're really
Sorry,
hard.
what do you mean even with the Zeeks? It's what For Relax said.
It was a timing thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a timing thing, but...
Well, because Aaron's father is Zeke's father.
Well, no, I get that. Actually, you know, that's actually another interesting aspect, which actually refutes Aaron's ability to go back to affect himself. Because unless Aaron's father never really dabbled with the whole going back in time and fucking with the past, are you telling me that he never tried to go back into the past and affect his relationship with Zeke?
Yeah.
Or hell, even know that you know, that's actually another, and maybe this will lead to something that's gonna really piss me off.
But that's the problem with time travel is you get into these types of questions where why didn't Aaron's father go back in time and talk to himself and go, well, maybe you should have, given Zeke, ice cream
Well,
on
see,
his birthday instead of, a
let's even
fucking.
ignore that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree with that, but let's ignore that for a second. Because you have to think. He could have gone back, or when he went to eat the founding Titan, he would have known in the future that him leaving would have made it to where he couldn't have protected his family. So he essentially, well, actually, there is one option in here that's possible, and that is that uh Aaron's father, because I keep forgetting the guy's name, never actually knew the powers of the attack Titan while he was alive. And so the effect that Aaron had was a subtle touch. And that's why, like, somehow at the very end when he's no, because even then, no, that can't work either.
Because Aaron's father knew he was talking to Aaron. Aaron's father knew when he was talking to Zeke, at least the second time.
Well, that's what I
You
was
know.
saying is when he was whispering there, where he's like, "No, I can't eat the children. This is bad. This is wrong. This is against my morals." And Aaron ends up kneeling down, going, "They're trying to kill your family. They're trying to kill you. They're trying to be uber bad people. Are you
Yeah.
really gonna let them get away with this?" And then he mourns about it. And then when he looks up, he's like, "Zeke, is that really you?" And then he hugs Zeke. And then he's like, "Don't let Aaron win."
Yeah.
But he still, with that happening, gives Aaron the attack Titan. That's where it's like, well, where does he sit? No. The more I talk about, the more I know they're gonna fuck it up now.
Well, they've already fucked it up. That's the problem here is, yeah, Aaron always gets his way. That's exactly what he said. Aaron always gets his way. And the thing is that's the problem with time travel is Grisha could have prevented Aaron from getting the attack Titan. He had to acquiesce to Aaron getting the attack Titan. He had to. That's the only way this story makes sense because he could have, in essence.
Then we need to go roundabout. But why does Aaron always get his way? Is he just that controlling? Is he just that smart? Or is there something that makes it to where
The youngest child
even
always gets
Grisha,
spoiled.
huh?
The youngest child always gets spoiled.
Fuck that noise.
相手してやるか
I just know that the older children keep bitching about it. You know the two complaints I actually know, and I mean I don't remember that. Well, I kind of remember this, but the thing I truly remember is my older sibling bitching. One is you got to go to bed later than we did. Second is my parents bought me Gatorade from time to time. And at this point, all my other siblings had moved out, but I was still the spoiled one because later bedtime and Gatorade. You know what? I think I'd rather be the older child.
Gatorade. Water sucks.
Water really,
it
really
really sucks. Water sucks.
H2O is better. I'm not even an Adam Sandler fan, but I know that. No, and like I said, I always hope this, whether I like the story or not, I hope they wrap it up in a fine bow, and she's like, wow, that was an amazing story, and I have minimal complaints, because I'm never gonna have no complaints. That's like wishing for unlimited wishes, eternal life, and the perfect balance of
You have the trigger of the final
happiness
boss.
and misery. Like,
There
it's
it
never gonna
is.
happen. You guys go take care of that. I'll go outside. Well, no, he used those though to as impetus for the manipulation. Remembering that your sister was, you know, fed to dogs by, I'm forgetting their names, so I'm just gonna say the Nazi soldiers, as it were. Remember that these bad things were happening. You are fighting for the freedom of your family, your children, your race.
Yeah.
And Grisha was using that. Oh, not Grisha. Aaron was using that to manipulate Grisha. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of one of or shit like that that makes me actually hypercritical when it comes to emotional manipulation. But that's when it's being applied to me. If it's being applied to other people, you know, they do what they do. But yeah, no. Aaron was straight up on a hardcore manipulation track, which I can understand because he is now aiming for a goal. So him doing that, saying that, was like, oh dude, that is ruthless. So I could appreciate what he's doing or what he's doing and how he's doing it. But then it comes down to, especially since he can affect the future, why he's doing it. Well, now the why becomes the most interesting question at this point. No, like I said, I really hope, like, this is straight up asking for a pony for Christmas hope. That they come up with some solid solutions, some solid answers to these, because if they do, that's going to be just straight up epic and turn Attack on Titan into, you know what, it's a dark but good anime too. No, this is straight up must watch. But then again, that's me projecting my own biases. Because like I said, when it comes to time travel, I become so hyperly critical that I'm more likely to be pissed off about them than not. And so if I'm going to enjoy a time travel story, then the other people shouldn't be able to enjoy it. But that's a faulty perspective.
Yeah, no, time travel is hard to do.
We're both from, well, we're both from Salt Lake in United States of America.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're both from Utah. Sorry, I didn't hear the...
Yeah, I'm on a tangent and I'm killing a bunch of Titans. Of course, to be fair, I've already failed a handful of times when it comes to some of the things going on. Because, yeah, no, the potentiality of this anime is... I could talk. I could really fucking talk.
And he has. Frequently.
Just think, the amount that I've talked is like half the time that I've thought.
Yeah, no. Utah's I like Utah. If you get past the religious zealotry, it's actually pretty good.
And see, I was actually born in, well, Zonix was kind of raised Mormon. I was born and raised Mormon. I got very little issue with it. I got more issue with the people. But that's a longer side conversation.
Killing a boss.
Which has nothing to do with Mormonism, I swear. No, I'm indifferent. I've moved way too many times in my life. Like, if I think about it, especially including military, like, I think I've lived, in a sense, like 26 different places before, before graduating high school, I think it was something like 13. After graduating, it's something like 24, so, like, it's okay. I hate the snow, so I want to move further south. But beyond that, Utah
There's the dyer.
Another place that happens to be in America, so hooray. I mean, I'm glad I'm in America, but...
The best thing about southern Utah, it rarely snows.
Ah, Cali. LA.
Oh, you killed the bazaar, you fucking...
I thought you had all the...
I was going at the dyer.
Oh, I thought you already wiped it out.
No! I told you the dyer showed up.
Yeah, but usually when that happens, like 4 seconds later, it's like, Dire dead. And it's like, okay. So, Dire's there, Dire gone. Yeah.
The
My
bad
apologies, I
Buddha.
thought you were more efficient.
Bad Buddha.
I went elementary school in Cali. I lived in Chico, California. Well, at least that's the one I remember the most. Got a brother that lives in San Diego. Oh, we can. Do we have a new area, or do we just need to go back to that last one?
It's just that last one.
So there's no more new maps, new areas, or what have you?
No, this is it.
Alright,
This
let's
is
do
the
that one more time. I'll fix myself again.
Well, when I say I'm going after the dyer, stop killing the bosses.
Well, I was killing a bunch of other things, and then just went to the boss. And this is after you killed a boss, which, you know, I was thinking, you know, we were just sort of running with...
I told
going with
you
the
I'm
flow.
killing a boss. Don't kill the last boss.
Okay,
I said that.
I will
I can clip it.
that's fine. I will wait for the order of the Psyonix to drop the nuke. I go and pot it real quick, but I will hold. I will hold the line.
So, anyways. This should be it, though. This is the last mission we need to get SS on. At least as far as my game file is concerned. Buddha's got a lot of shit he still needs to do.
I mean, I guess we could switch to me, but I'm actually kind of fairly caught up, which I'm kind of impressed with myself about.
I mean, it is a very legitimate question. What do we do after this? I mean, we can go over to Inferno or Nightmare Scout difficulty.
Well, it would either be Nightmare Scout difficulty. I would actually say, like, I guess on my end it wouldn't matter. Yeah, no, I would probably say let's just do Nightmare Scout difficulty. I am still curious why we can't do the whole co-op thing for the story mission yet, because we should totally be there.
We should. And we can try it again if you want.
I mean, I guess we might as well give it a try, but when it comes down to it, the fact of the matter is for some odd reason the game's being bitchy when it comes to that particular front.
Yeah, I don't know why it's being bitchy, but it's 100% being bitchy about it. But this game is perfectly programmed and has no flaws whatsoever.
Put it on my side. Waiting for whatever. Yeah, there it is.
That.
Of course, that was actually another thing I was musing about earlier today in this. You have to think, so I'm assuming that the Royals were the one who thought up a way to fight Titans. Not 100% sure why, but you know, they thought up a way to fight Titans. But how did the rest of the world fight Titans before, say, gunpowder? And even then, gunpowder only really allows for the weakening of Titans. You still need to hit precisely in the back of the neck. But that's also another reason, or another thing that really pisses me off, where Hinky, who is the most, you know, psychotically interested in testing out Titans, did she really never try to dissect the nape of the neck, but, you know, vertically instead of horizontally? It just seems like that would be something to try.
Yeah. That is one thing I do disagree with as far as the story is concerned, is dissecting the nape is one of those things that should have fucking happened.
And honestly, the only exception I can think of, the only possibility, I guess, is that only the Bizarre Titans, the Intelligent Titans, they are the only ones whose bodies still exist as an independent entity. Everything, or everyone else, like, literally diffuses into the Titanness, the Titan mass, the Titan-esque entity. In which case, but then why would
hitting the neck matter?
Yeah.
That's the only problem with that, is if hitting the nape matters, there must be something important there.
Yeah.
The Dire's been triggered.
I'm going straight for the Dire. Dire dead.
Yeah, you pulled your head out of your ass in the most spectacular way possible. Because
All I can say is, I thought I was doing good.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
apparently
doing
I
great at the moment, but
No, I meant last time.
the only thing I can think of is because I've been stuck inside the walls killing Titans.
Man.
Like, I tried to leave and then the game was all like, "Ah, fuck you." There's more Titans in there.
You know, actually, just as a random, so the book I'm listening to, the Codex Alaria, I believe it is what the series is called.
Yeah.
And Braveheart.
The Codex Alaria.
Yeah, that's the whole Lost Legion meets Pokemon
Oh.
that Jim Butcher
Well, you
wrote.
just said brain fart. I'm like, Codex Alaria.
No, it's just what I was about to say for just gone. Oh, so one of the things I was musing about. Oh, thought you already killed them.
I was
I
just
was
dealing with the
confusing about
travelers.
While I'm listening to the book, like, to be fair, I've missed some of the predictions of what's happening. I've been 95% accurate on just about everything that's been happening. And part of my brain was like, you know, I usually don't care for books, movies, whatever, that I'm predicting with like minimal effort.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I'm just sort of sitting there where it's like, I mean, it's kind of interesting, but I'm predicting way too much. And there's things I'm missing or not completely connecting, blah blah blah. But by and large, I know where the book's going with very minimal hints. So it's kind of like, you know, is a book enjoyable or is something enjoyable when you can guess it? But I guess for me, it's like what was that third Chris Nolan Batman movie where going to nightmares. Okay, time to check my skills then. But yeah, no, that third book, whatever, Dark Knight Rises or whatever, I predicted everything and I hated that movie. Like I still remember, so random thing for you get or for viewers. I prefer to go to theaters when they're mostly empty. And when I went to that theater, it was me and like 5 other people. And I don't know how many others, I'm just gonna say 5. The only thing I remember is there were 2 chicks who were sitting 2 rows in front of me. And so spoiler. But you had this one detective character who's just interjected at like the very beginning of the movie. And I'm like, okay, that's probably Robin. And I don't think anything about it from there on. And then at the end of the movie, where it's like, hey, I like your last name. Yeah, people are torn on that or whatever. He's like, have a good day, Robin. And they start freaking out. Oh my God, that's Robin. It's like, how did you not even guess that like 2.5 hours ago? So sad. So sad.
Remember, think of the average person that the average intelligence of the people that you know.
Think how smart the average person is and realize that half of them are dumber than that.
Exactly.
God rest your soul, George Carlin. No, and that's one of those things for me is if I'm disinterested enough. Well, that's not completely accurate, but to keep it simple, if I'm disinterested enough that I'm starting to make predictions about what's happening, chances are I'm not liking the product. Like, when I'm truly enthralled, I'm just like, I want to see the next pretty picture.
Yeah, I don't make predictions. When I am thoroughly and fully entertained, I don't make predictions.
Or if I do, it's like mild passive, like it's almost like a reflexive. Reflexive predictions is one thing, active predictions is another. And that's actually kind of what made me pissed off about Star Wars Episode 8, is some of the predictions I was making was vastly better than the actual movie. But no need to talk about
See, I don't think
Star
those
Wars.
were predictions. I think those were just, oh God, I hope this happens.
Well, now that we know the end result, then yeah, it's, oh God, I hope this happens, instead of, this is where you should go.
This is come.
Shit face, come. Whoa! Dire Titan already.
Yeah.
That's right, we're on.
Yeah, you gotta remember, this is
1-star or 2-star Inferno. Well, the Inferno is just you know, hell. The star is how quickly we get to said ending. I'm not gonna lie though, that is something that at least I'm gonna admit to a bit of a shameful confession of. I actually, the first time I watched episode 8, I enjoyed it, but that's because the movie I was predicting was amazing. It's done, you can kill it. Where what they made was so atrociously horrible. Like, I remember, we watched it in theaters, and I was like, wow, I actually kind of like this. And then once it came out and we watched it again, it went from, wow, this was amazing to, oh my god, this is probably the most horrible thing I've ever seen before.
I don't know why I wanted to catch it, but I wanted to catch it.
Yeah, you do you. Well, I spent enough time taking on the...
He was adorable. I wanted to take him home.
Yeah. First, I have to admit, one of those random things I'm patting myself on the back on is, even for somebody who's... I'm not a hardcore fan. I'm just a fan of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Episode 7, or yeah, episode 7. I straight up hated it from that moment. No, this is a horrible movie, and all the people try to be like, no, it's a great, it's great, it's great, it's great. And even some of the hardcore fans who are like, I was so excited for this, I love it. And I'm like, no, it was horrible. And then after episode 8, the one that I actually kind of liked.
That's when everyone finally
like,
came around and went, this is cum.
This is horrible.
That's what I was saying. But no, Pikachu knows everything.
Never question the Pikachu. Okay, I got a random ass question for you, Sonics.
Shoot.
Did you ever have like a favorite stuffed toy, animal, whatever?
Yeah, sure. I think most people did.
Did you ever get emotionally distressed when you couldn't find it or it wasn't around?
Well, yeah. I went to the farm and I cried for a week.
No.
And I found out later in life that farm meant dumpster.
No, like for a couple hours. Like they still find it, they still get it back. Like, so I have 2 nephews. One loves this little polar bear thing that he got when he was still like 2 years old, and apparently this is like his. This is his spirit animal.
Yeah.
And then there's another one who has a little Pikachu stuffed animal. And like, seriously, spirit animals. And I'm sitting there, it's like, I've never been that attached to. Which says a lot, I'm sure. But it's kind of like, I remember hearing people, it's like, oh yeah, no, I had imaginary friends. It's like, I never had an imaginary friend.
I still have imaginary friends.
Huh?
I still have imaginary friends.
Well, yeah, you do. I don't. I've never had an imaginary friend. I've tried to, you know, make up imaginary friends. But yeah, no, never had imaginary friends. I'm the only person in my own mind. So I find this concept amusing, but yeah, no, I have 2 nephews who are like emotionally distraught. Like they don't want to eat dinner. They don't want to go. They have a hard time going to bed. If they don't have this particular stuffed animal, I'm like, I've never cared for any stuffed animals ever. Like, this is such a foreign concept to me. I don't know if I'm the Martian or they're the Martian type thing. Knowing me, I'm probably the Martian type still. It's such a weird... What the fuck is this? That all I can do is shrug and go, okay. So, this is what normal people are like, I guess. How about you, for relax? Ever had or do you remember any special teddy bears or something like that? That was like, this was my life. And like, I'm actually honestly curious. I think my nephew's in like 4th grade now, but he still has this little teddy bear. Like, if it's like, it was brought over once, and my sister asked my mom to, patch it up so that, it doesn't lose any more stuffing because it's already been destroyed. And she's like, yeah, I'll fix it and I'll send it home, I'll send it over tomorrow. My nephew was so distraught. Like, when he went into the car, he was crying his eyes out. And my niece, who is the oldest, comes in and goes, so-and-so is crying. Okay, I'll fix it now. Then you could take it home. Like, no, I've never had anything like that. Like, this is such a foreign concept to me, where it's like, it. Am I the oddball or are they the oddball?
I mean, you do lack all empathy, so
Not all empathy, just 90%.
most empathy.
Yeah, like I said, 90%. Well, it's like I said earlier, the thing that, or one of the things that always pisses me off is when I see things and it's like, this is an obvious attempt to emotionally manipulate me. And once I see something like that, I get angry. I don't get sad like, oh, look at the poor starving children. Yes, I feel bad for the poor starving children. I hate the people who are trying to manipulate me using poor starving children. So you, good sir, good lady, well, not good sir, good lady, you useless piece of shit, can go pound sand, because I know if I spend, $10 on, I don't know, Habitat for Humanity, like $2 is gonna go for the habitats and the rest is gonna go for the bureaucratic assholes. So,
Yeah.
fuck yourself? Yeah. That's my emotional response. Go fuck yourself. But we're trying to help people. Didn't you see when, this one starving, emaciated kid was, just having a horrible time? Yes, I did. And I saw you doing damn near nothing. I hate.
And I saw you paying people an absorbent amount of money to go to that country and film that starving, emaciated child without giving them any food.
Well, actually, that's another thing. It was, I think it's UN troops, where, I mean, they're not allowed to really, well, I guess kind of allowed to enforce stuff. I don't know. But ultimately, they're the ones who have, like, the humanitarian aid, food, and whatnot. And ultimately, they have a long history of prostituting the local citizens. It's like, hey, you want an extra, protein bar, suck my dick type thing. It's like, this has been an issue for decades at this point. Who cares? Not the people who are trying to make you join the... Not the people who are trying to make you join the UN, apparently. So, I just get angry, and that's not the emotion that they want, which,
The important thing is that Ukraine is too corrupt to join the UN.
Oh, no.
Never mind that the UN forces are too corrupt to join Ukraine. That's neither here nor there.
If anything, Ukraine is... No, don't want to get into that. Divide people, get people angry, blah, blah, blah. Of course, actually one thing I did see today, though, that really made me laugh. So, in Ukraine, there's this group called the Asimov group, something like that. And they are straight up fascistic. They are a fascistic group in Ukraine. And apparently they have a fair amount of influence in Ukraine. And Russia claimed, hey, we're going into Ukraine to, in a sense, smash the fash, which is what a bunch of Americans have been saying for the last like 5, 6 years. Now it's not cool though, and apparently even the ADL has released a new, well, maybe not a new description, but something new that was saying, oh, you know that Asimov battalion that's totally fascistic, but they're the good fascists. But what? Huh? I know they're totally awesome. Unlike those communists, I'm living in a fucking mirror world. I have no idea what's going on now.
I mean, yeah.
あんたなら余裕だろ。
戦闘開始の時間だ。
突撃だ。相手してやるか。救援要請か。待ってろ。盾でくれるか。
Here's some base.
拠点を頼むぜ。
ごめんね。助かったよ。
やってやるよ。
あの色は助けに行かなきゃ。
しかねえだろ。なんとかしねえと。ここを拠点にするよ。
You know, because I'm feeling it at the moment, I guess, to go conspiratorial. This is one of those issues I really have when it comes to all media, not just American news media. Is, you know what? Oh, ouchie.
Ouch.
Is
Uh-huh.
controlled opposition. Because, so for those of you who don't know, I'm ultimately a libertarian with right leanings, not pushing it on anyone, just stating it. And so I try to listen to a bunch of different media, try to understand what's going on. And people are like, oh, well, look at Fox News, that's hard right. And when you listen to what they're talking about when it comes to like the Ukraine issue, they don't sound that different from CNN or MSNBC. It's just like, oh yeah, no, that horrible Fox News that's repeating pretty much everybody else when we want it to repeat everybody else. Those are totally, horrible right-wing evangelist people. It's like, but they sound like the other people. No. They are totally unique in saying the exact same thing. I mean, I don't agree with Fox News. Just find them slightly more tolerable in their horseshit. But, whatever. To each their own.
I don't even find them that tolerable, honestly.
Like I said, slightly more tolerable. No, and that's part of the problem is ultimately when it comes to like listening to news, it's like, who do you well, for me, it's who do you hate the least? And it's sad that one of the people I go to for like general news is literally Tim Pool, because I find pretty much everyone else so distinctively offensive. It's like, no, I'd rather live in pure ignorance than listen to you people. I want to harm all of you.
Well, there's no such thing as objective news in. Well, maybe. I want to say anymore, but there's never been objective news. It's never been a thing.
It's not precisely objective news. And, I think this is actually or one of the great things about, current society and what have you, is the fact that it is so polarized that, like, they're not even pretending. Joe Biden or Hunter Biden's laptop, they straight up lied about it. They straight up hid it. They straight up denied it. And they've recently, even the left-wing media is like, okay, we were lying. It was actually true. And, left-wing MSNBC, CNN have literally come out and go, okay, it was true. It's like, huh? And it's just no. Don't trust any one source, and I agree. You know, you just have to you need to listen to disparate sources, like to go off on another tangent that might get us in trouble in different ways. So, as I've said before, I was born and raised Mormon. Don't think there was. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay, your character is walking into the wall. That's all I wanted to know. But so I was born and raised Mormon, and well, I had some issues. You know, I was fine with it, and then I went through tens of hours, like let's say 50 plus hours worth of, you know, theist versus atheist debates, just to, you know, okay, I am not the most well informed, but I want to know. So I'm gonna go, you know, this is supposedly one expert, this is supposedly another expert. Gonna listen to them spat it out, and went through, like I said, let's minimum 50 hours just on that one topic. I'm still not an expert on either topic. One side, one more over the other. Sorry, that was my bad.
And you can
And
keep
it's
talking.
just
I just
one of
want to start the mission.
yeah, and that's just one of those things. Is, you know, okay, you know, present both sides. Obviously, you're both going to be hyperly biased to whatever side. I'm fine with that. Just kind of, you know, acknowledge and admit that. And that's where it's never going to happen as far as news media. Like, one of the things that gets me is Rachel Maddow. She was taken to court because she said these people are literally Russian propaganda fake news, and this was like 3 or 4 years ago. And when they were taking, or when she was taken to court, the lawyers argued, well, when she said literally, it obviously meant figuratively. You know what? Fuck these people hardcore. Like, there's no other response. It's just fuck you people.
Yeah, no. Everything you hear, everything you're told, it's all tainted with original sin.
Well, and honestly, and this might make me, you know, the slow pony on this, is I think back to where it's like they were bitching, or, well, not bitching, where people were mocking Britney Spears, whatever, some of those female teen pops, or people, and like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. It's the same thing. It's all controlled. Like, they're going for what is considered the optimized objective of X, Y, and Z, and just like, no. And it's a little funny that I'm becoming more counterculture as I've grown up more than when I was younger.
Well, and there's counterculture, which is different for the sake of different, and there's what me and you are, which is like, everyone's fucking lying to me.
Yeah.
And I know everyone is fucking lying to me. And so every single thing I read in the news is tainted by, okay, how are you lying to me?
Well,
because you are lying to me.
The other thing that comes to mind for me in the same vein is like, is this a lie that I want to hear? In which case, that kind of makes me become even more intransigent, whatever, not like it. You done with
He's dead. Yeah, and that's just it. It's all lies. All of it is fucking lies and misinformation. There is no place you can go to get the objective truth, because I guess the objective truth just doesn't fucking exist.
Yep. Well, see, the thing for me is like, okay, that's a hot topic. Let's take the whole Ukraine-Russia thing. Does Ukraine have fascists in it?
Yes.
Well, the media's been claiming that it has for years. And now they're saying, well, they don't really because Russia's invading. Is Russia winning because they're advancing, or is Russia losing because they're not advancing quick enough? Is Russia, straight up killing children, or because of, they're throwing out, artillery and mortars, or are they just trying to get rid of dissident or get rid of insurgents and what have you? Like, and it all comes down to it's the same thing where we are having a recession. This is the most booming economy ever, which I believe MSNBC was saying. And the reason why our economy is having issue is because lazy Americans are ordering too many things. Um, what? Like, they are literally arguing every part of the pentagram, and they're just hoping people are gonna, gravitate towards the one that they agree with the most. Where I'm just sort of sitting here, pretty well close enough to the middle, going, y'all sound like shit, and y'all sound like you're lying. Not gonna lie though, one of my happiest thoughts, if Santa / Genie gave me my wish, the entire news media industry would literally be destroyed overnight. Of course, it becomes quite simple when you realize 99% of people who talk to you are lying to you for one reason or another.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you really can't. If you're watching them through a fucking, if you're watching us, we could be fucking lying to you. You have no idea if we are or not. And I can say, me and Buddha are the most honest motherfuckers you're gonna listen to.
Well,
This
I am at least. I don't know about Zodix. That's actually my problem. So, that gets me in trouble a lot. Honesty is literally the worst policy. It's easy enough to keep track of. That is true. But guess what? People use your honesty and beat you over the head with it. That is probably the most honest thing you're ever gonna hear.
Yeah, and I would say that, I mean, obviously everyone would say this, but you can trust what we say. I mean, we're not experts or anything like that. We're just two drunk assholes with fucking opinions and
Who play video games.
who play video games. That is literally what we are.
That's like double the entertainment right there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, quadruple. Well, triple. Drunk.
We are
People
two
with
drunk,
opinions
fat
playing video
assholes playing video games, telling you what to think.
Well, we're not telling you what to think.
We're
Hell,
telling you what
disagree
we
with it.
think.
I actually kind of want you to disagree with us.
Oh yeah, no, 100.
Legitimately.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100%. We want dissidents. We want you to say, "Hey, you two drunk assholes are full of shit." I would totally
You're
welcome
stupid.
that.
This is why you're wrong. And please, well, I'm actually down for that. I enjoy the controversy. Not the controversy per se, the pushback.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with Buddha. We want pushback on the bullshit we say. Because we do. We frequently talk right the fuck out our buttholes. We 100% do that.
As for legitimate information, just convert to for big information and video games. Honesty.
But yeah, no, we do. We want, but we like dialogue.
I still think back to Jenica. So, me and Sonics, when we first started living together, we had 2 other roommates. And apparently, me and Sonics will wax philosophical, ask random questions. Just, why do you think X, whatever. I wish I had a good example at the moment, but I don't. And we would just run with that for hours. And there would be times where the other two roommates, Marshall and Jenica, just, names, would be there. And they're like, dude, you're ruining our buzz. And it's like, really? This is like kind of the intent of mine buzz. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, the U.S. still has the First Amendment, but there's things like, okay, like
The problem with the First Amendment
think back to
is
like
that
the Oscars. Think back to like the Oscars. Chris Rock said something Will Smith didn't like. Allegedly.
lie.
No.
Chris Rock said something Jada Pinkett didn't like, and Will Smith, like a little bitch, had to do something about it. That's
Okay.
totally
All right. I will accept that. So, and then Will Smith walks up on stage, smacks the shit out of Chris Rock, regardless of whether or not this is legit, regardless of whether or not it was staged, regardless of whether or not they're both actors and they're doing this for money, which is a perfectly valid argument. I'm not saying it's not. But the fact is Will Smith went up to Chris Rock, smacked the shit out of him, and said, "Don't say that shit no more." And Chris Rock was all like, "Okay." And this fucking offends me on a level of freedom of speech because Will Smith used violence to shut Chris Rock the fuck up. Now, whether it's staged, whether that doesn't matter. The moral of the story is Will Smith used violence to shut Chris Rock the fuck up. And that pisses me off. The fact that Will Smith using violence to say, "Hey, Chris Rock, you don't get to say what you want to say anymore," that offends me. The fact that it's okay to hit somebody who says something that's offensive to you. That's the real crime here, is that mainstream media has said, if you don't like what somebody says, you can slap the shit out of them to make them stop. And it's okay. And that's the moral of the fucking story. And I fucking hate that is bullshit. And that's the thing that offends me the most about it. And yes, I am quoting Overlord on that one. But he makes a compelling argument.
How'd you quote Overlord?
Well, that was the thing is, he was saying was that Will Smith, like accepting that Will Smith can go on stage and smack Chris Rock for what he said, is saying it's okay to use physical violence to shut somebody the fuck up.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Yep.
You should using brute force to make somebody not say what they want to say. Not only is it censorship, but it's fascist. And not like the bullshit. Yeah, not like the bullshit. Fascist that the left likes to say. I'm talking about real fascism, where you hear somebody saying shit that you don't like, and you use physical violence to shut them up. That is legit fascism. You use violence to make somebody stop saying something you don't like. That's Gestapo shit right there. That is 100% Gestapo.
To go with you're saying, Lord of Destruction. Yeah. part of the reason why I think it wasn't staged is it was the lowest or second lowest Oscars, and that's kind of like saying this was staged by Jesse Smollett, not that he staged anything, per se. And it's like, okay, this was done so horribly. It had to be, actually it was done so horribly that it had to be fake because reality. Actually, one of my favorite quotes is, you know what the difference between fiction and reality is? Fiction actually has to make sense. What Jesse Smollett didn't make sense. What Will Smith did made marginal sense. And when it comes to the First Amendment, while I love it to the ends of the universe, the problem is it's just what government can restrict, and they can't. And technically, what Twitter and Facebook is doing is against the dire.
On the other side of the goddamn earth. I'll let you go.
But, and that's one of those things that actually it's supposed to be illegal for, Elizabeth Warren, AoC to be like, oh, this is fake news. They shouldn't be able to say this. That is actually having the government use free market to do what the government can't, which is illegal. But not enough people in power are challenging it. Trying to kill this real quick before I look back at what you said a little earlier. Yeah, actually, the thing that really sticks out when it comes to comedy is, well, it might be an oversimplification. You can kill it. An oversimplification. But ultimately, comedy, well, not comedy, but comedians come from the court jester. And the court jester is the only person who was allowed to make fun of the kings and nobles without reprisals. And that's just it. Is, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I've actually been a huge fan of Will Smith. He probably should have won an Oscar years ago. I'm behind that. The fact that he walked up and slapped Chris Rock during that.
He should lose his fucking Oscar.
Yeah, I'm hardcore. Lose the Oscar, and he is now banned from the Oscars. Like, drop the hammer on this guy. I like him. He needs to divorce Jada Pinkett, 1,000 years ago. He's not going to do it, though, because I can't say the words I want to. But, yeah, no. He needs to lose the Oscar.
Do we need more days of the week?
Won one.
You Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, motherfucking Ribs Day.
He is somebody who accepts his wife getting pleasured by other people. That's all you need to say. But yeah, no. When it comes down to it, it's just like, you know what? I like Will Smith as an actor and what have you. I was actually musing about this earlier because some people were saying, Chris Rock and Will Smith. And stand-up comedians, when they do live shows, usually make jokes. Yeah, and see, that's actually been something that they pointed out is if you're in the front row, you're in the firing line. Like, you're not like some passive, I'm just here. No, you are like, you're a fucking target. The only other way you could be a target is like, is anyone here a X? And if, woo, okay, I'm now focusing on you because you said you were an X. Whether I agree with you or disagree with you, you now just, made yourself a target.
Yeah, you made yourself a fucking target.
But if you're a front row, oh yeah, you are just, you're easy pickings. I'm gonna roll with that. No, I
mean, it lends to the argument that the whole thing was staged. Was, Will Smith should have fucking known that. He's in an open relationship.
But that
jokes about Jada Smith being bald is the least of his concerns.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, the jokes about Jada Smith fucking his son's best friend, that would have been more on point.
Well, and that's where bring back Ricky Gervais, man. Like literally, I I want to see Will Smith smack Ricky Gervais because you know what? I mean, yeah, I don't think Gervais would have held back physically or verbally.
And he shouldn't have. Chris Rock should have fucking hit Will Smith back. That should have turned into a goddamn hockey brawl. That's what that should have fucking turned into. At least
So
in my
I might have
opinion.
said this yesterday, or I might have said this on, you know, stream or
Mhm.
Steam. But you know, I'm somebody who I have no real boundaries. I say offensive jokes all the time, and it's all meant in fun.
Constantly.
I don't mean to be offensive. I just want to say a joke, you know, lighten the mood, as it were. We're ready to go. And I will tell people, especially if I get close enough to the friend or close enough, that it's like, hey, you know what? I'm saying this, I'm doing this just to be fun. I like no one joke is like, aha, I'm poking you in the eye. It's just meant to be in fun. So if you ever have an issue with this, just let me know, and I will stick away from this. But I'm also, to be fucking honest, and I will say, just as a heads up though, you have to realize, if me and you ever, you know, in a sense break, where our friendship is no longer there, I will use this against you. And yes, I have said this multiple times. And so, you know, you say, hey, you know, don't make that joke. I'll remember this. I'll remember this as in A, don't make this joke, and I'll remember this as in B. If I want to hurt this person, say this joke, or a joke along this vein. And so I project this onto the whole Chris Rock, Will Smith thing, where apparently they've been friends for years. I have no idea. Just random shit I'm hearing, and if it's wrong, they barely know each other. Okay, that's fine. I'll give a little grace. But if they're friends, I am literally applying my own standards on this, where it's like, you know what? No, if you walk up and slap me, you're dead to me. I will never talk to you. Well, not never, because the one I can bring up is on my second deployment. It was a guy named Galaz. I like the guy. I really like the guy. And you know what? I said some mini fucked up shit to this guy. And, you know, he rolled with it. Everything was fine. And then there was this one time I said a joke that apparently offended his machismo. Yes, he was Hispanic.
You can offend machismo without them being Hispanic.
Well, usually machismo is more of a Hispanic issue than a American issue, though. Well, from my experience, I'm not saying that as a absolute, but generalized.
Racist! Sorry.
But so I said this joke, and he walked away, and then he came back like 2 minutes later. He got in my face, and he's like, "You ever say something like that again, I will fuck you up." And I looked at him and I was like, okay. I never talked, well, actually, I talked to him one more time, and that was during demobilization, which was about 5 months later. And I told him, hey, there's a 2-for-1 deal on alcoholic drinks. Last time I talked to him, or first and last time I talked to him, I mean, I hope he's doing well. I'm not that angry at him, but I never want to see him again. I never want to associate him with again. I never want him in the same state as me again. He's gone. He's dead, as far as I'm concerned. And so, if Chris Rock and Will Smith were friends, and Will Smith walked up and slapped Chris Rock, all I can do is take what my perspective would be and apply it. So yeah, no. And that's where it's like, you know what? I would be working on an entire litany of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett jokes. And just like Ricky Gervais said, you know what? If I was doing the Oscars, I wouldn't talked about her hair. I would have talked about her new boyfriend that she's banging. Fucking rage your face, man.
Gotta take a big beer back.
You know what? When it comes, if I was Chris Rock, that would in a sense become my new litany. And a random thing for Zionix. I honestly don't know why. I mean, it's an okay movie. It's not a great movie. He likes oh, I'm totally fucking dropping it. Oh, I'm fucking dropping it. I want to say First Night, but that's not it. It's oh fuck. It's the guy who played the joke or Keith Ledger, the one night movie that he was he worked in. Fuck, what was it? A Knight's Tale, I believe. A Knight's Tale. And in this, he he runs into that one I don't know, Harold Bardish guy. And
Chaucer.
when he was talking to some people, he's like, every pimple, every freckle, every mole, it will be echoed through history because I can, use the pen or something like that. You know what? That's where I would be if I was fucking Chris Rock.
Like every
Is
stand up
that-
from here on now is gonna include some bashing of
Yeah, no,
Will
like,
and Jada Pickett Smith.
It doesn't have to be hardcore. It doesn't have to be too active. But you know what? There's going to be a joke in there where I'm going to be. It's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. And that's where I would be if I was Chris Rock. Assuming I was friends with Will Smith prior to this. Destroying him. Well, actually, he's already destroyed. Guys. Yeah, he's already destroyed because of Jada Pinkett. But I would be adding weight to it. Nope. You slap me like that? Oh, he was emasculated. I wouldn't feel emasculated. I would feel betrayed. And you know what? For me, I agree with Dante. Dante and Jack Sparrow, apparently. Those who betray go to the deepest parts of hell. And I have no sympathy. I have no forgiveness. You betray me? Well, correction. I'll agree there are different levels of betrayal. But you betray me hard enough, you are an NPC. You are.
You bitch slapped me on national television.
Well, it's not even on national television. I don't care if you do that when, we're both just sort of chilling, in an alleyway. It's like, oh man, I heard this thing slap. Why the fuck did you keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth? You're dead to me, and I'm gonna increase your pain as much as possible. Don't care about the negative backlash. I'm gonna increase your pain. Random funny note, I've actually told this to Xanax before. He's like, shit may happen. I'm like, yeah, if it does, I'm gonna increase the pain. So does that make me a horrible person, or does that make Xanax a stupid person? I don't know.
I mean, I haven't tested you, so I don't think that makes me a
No, you
stupid
haven't,
person.
but I have stated it definitively. And you have said, well, there are some times, and I'm like, don't care. Well, it was Easter weekend, and the stars were like, don't fucking care. You push this? Gone. Straight up. That's one of those things that I can't be narcissistic because it's not that my perspective rules supreme or anything like that. But I do have to admit, I do prioritize my perspective. And I'm not right, I'm not wrong. Well, yeah, I'm not right, I'm not wrong. It's just this. And I will fully inform you of said this. And you do you. You will be fully informed when you fuck me over or when you don't. And when you do, if you forget the, side effects of said drugs, That's on you, and I don't give a fuck. Oh no!
Oh, that's a bad Buddha.
It's a bad Buddha. I used a flare, but apparently one of the other schmoes were blind. Buddha did bad. Buddha did bad.
変な感じがピンピンします
Well, he's telling everyone in the universe that,
I didn't betray you. I just fucked up.
撤退します
and you lost my Petra.
やります
Sorry, I'm horrible. Seriously, I'm going to shoot. I wonder if they're doing some, or if there's like a multiplayer. Well, there has to be a multiplayer modifier. So apparently, when it comes down to it, Buddha is the worst player thus far. Thought I was doing good, but I was just lying to myself.
Buddha is a
Pilot.
bad panda.
Very bad panda. You know, actually, another random funny story, military story too. So, when I was in the military, I don't remember what called for it, but we were sitting there talking about reincarnation and whatnot. It's like, you know what? I think if it came down to it, I'd want to be a panda. Just put me in a zoo, put a female that I may or may not want to pound, and then give me a bunch of food, i.e. bamboo, and just let me sit there and go, ow, ow. And the guy I was talking to, he's like, I don't know, I'd probably go for a sea turtle, you know, live for a couple hundred years or whatnot. And it was a couple months later that Kung Fu Panda came out. I mean, I found it hysterical, but I don't know if anyone else will.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
So we continue on going back to fix that, or
I mean, I guess we can go back and fix that, but I don't know. Let's balls. You know what? It's after midnight. I got family shit tomorrow. Maybe we should just call it here.
your stream.
Well, just
I understand. I'm just saying, it's your stream.
all right. Let's finish this shit up real quick. We got 2 more missions. It shouldn't take too long.
You know, I actually, Lord, it's, I did this one.
戦闘開始
I think back to, it was a George Carlin joke,
救援要請
and he was saying there, I guess I have to speak in code, so hopefully you'll understand me, which makes me feel like a scooter now from
There's a woman.
So, he was sitting there, he was bitching about, you know, people policing jokes, I believe mainly based on feminism. And they're like, you can't joke about grape because grape isn't funny. He's like, fuck you, I think it's hysterical. What do you think about that? And yes, that is literally a direct George Carlin quote for those of you who want to look it up. And he's like, the problem is where is the exaggeration? You would need to have an exaggeration for the joke to be funny, or to be funny. And he's like, imagine this: Elmer Fudd raping Porky Pig. Well, you always wondered why he called him Porky, right? But the problem is people find they want. Honestly, this is getting basic thing, where it's like, oh no, people need to have, you know, humor needs to be non-specific or generalized. And honestly, part of my brain is like,
No.
Futurama kind of poked fun at this already when they went to Amazonia, where it's like, here is our, and they're all like, you know, 6 feet, 7 feet tall, whatever. And it's like, here's our comedy club. We don't make fun of people, but we make fun of, you know, general situations. And it's the male characters like, so boring.
All comedy, everything that is funny, is at the expense of someone, something, or somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, and honest, like one of the ones that comes to mind for me, and I still enjoy them, is take Abbott and Costello. Who's on first? If you haven't, look them up or look that up. Abbott and Costello, who's on first? That's still quite funny, but they're making fun of themselves, I guess, and that's okay. But oh, you're not supposed to make fun of people. If you're making fun of yourself, no, because other themselves might be offended by your comedy about themselves.
If someone identifies with who you're making fun of, then it becomes immediately unfunny to the vote.
Besides, it's obviously racist that the name of the person on first is who. What's on second? I don't know. It's on third.
Who thinks
Look it up
it's
if you don't get
racist?
that. But yeah, and that's the problem is the policing and restricting of comedy, and that's where, when it comes down to it, that's actually the most terrifying aspect. And not gonna lie, I've said it earlier, but like when it comes down to like someone like Obama, I didn't like him. He was not a president I cared for. I think he fucked up in so many different ways. There were not many comedic jokes about him, and especially if you compare him to somebody like Trump, who got eviscerated comedically, or Bush and Trump. Dude, look at what comedians were saying when it came to Obama. All of a sudden, hey, you know, this guy had no flaws, and it's like, no. And
He had nice hair.
It's gotten worse where, oh dear God, yet again, look at the Oscars. They hired 3 women instead of 1 man. Why? Because it's still cheaper to hire 3 women to be the MCs instead of 1 man. You're seriously? I mean, it's accurate because they're not funny. You take 3 female comedians, it still doesn't make 1 male comedian, regardless how low quality he is. I'll admit that, but no. Not gonna lie though, like you, I have to admit, that was the one joke that they made that I saw that actually made me smirk. But that's just it. It made me smirk. It's kind of up there with, what does Alec Baldwin, Jesse Smollett, and Will Smith have in common? They're all felons who are, they're all felons who are sitting comfortably at home. Not a funny joke, but it made me smirk.
It's a true joke.
This is our basketball card. More about fundamentals since none of us can dunk. I.e. boring. Another Futurama reference for those who are offended.
Everyone who's offended has left already. Oh, we have 1 viewer.
Thankfully, no one's offended. No, that's another one of those little tidbits that gets me too, where it's like, Really? You're not even gonna try to defend your position? To be fair, those who are no longer watching us, I'm not saying they're offended. It's just I'm offended. Why are you offended? I mean, don't get me wrong. I also agree because it's yet again, capitalism. Vote with your wallet. You don't like what Disney is saying about the anti-grooming bill? Then you know what? Don't go to Disney. You're not liking what Disney is saying about the don't say gay bill?
And you know what? The don't say gay bill is honestly like the most reasonable piece of legislation I think I've ever heard about. Like, literally, it forbids teachers from talking about gender identity before the 4th grade.
And if they do talk about it, you're supposed to inform those evil people called parents.
It's like, seriously, who the fuck? Honestly,
For me,
sex education doesn't happen until fucking middle school.
I was gonna say my first was in 6th grade.
Even at that, that's still 2 years before the 4th grade, or 2 years after the 4th grade.
Yeah.
You know, say you can't talk about gender identity before you talk about sex education. How is this unfucking reasonable?
Actually, for me, it's connected, but it's a bit of a sidestep. The one positive perspective I had when it came to defund the police is the police is a union. So maybe this was going to lead to the left going, unions are bad because they protect bad people. Go for the teacher unions next. I want the teacher union dismantled as quickly as possible. It's not going to happen because they're the prophets, but oh dear God, I want them gone. Teacher unions, abolish, gone. If I ever have a kid, they're never going to go to a public school. I don't care.
Charter schools, private schools, 100%.
Public school, fuck that noise. Never, 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 never. You might as well say, hey, do you want to dip your kid in a pool of lava? No, I really don't. Oh, you're a horrible person. Okay? I'm not putting my kid in a pool of lava. But the problem is that would, require logical progression, and the left does not have logical progression, so
no,
it's not gonna happen. But it was a simple-minded dream that lefties would realize the problem with the police is they're unionized, so we need to take down unions. But no, police are bad because police. Until they have to call the police, in which case, police good. Like, and this is where I agree with Tim Pool. It's like, how's anybody a police officer at this point? You are literally Schrodinger's policeman. You are simultaneously good and bad at any in a superposition of good and bad. And that's just it. No. And the sad part is that's just Florida. How many other schools? Hey, Schrodinger's cat is #1 in scenarios completed. Good times.
Alright, well, I just claimed my login bonus for tomorrow, so I don't have to log in tomorrow. Alright, well,
back to #1 in captures. Sorry, random.
No, there's certain things. Okay, so like scenarios completed. Honestly, what I see here is reasonable. S rank clears again is reasonable. Eliminations isn't fucking reasonable. Never
Well,
mind the
like I
fact
said,
that it says my rank is 48, but the top 10 says you're 5 and I'm 6. You know,
well, like I said
eliminations is
though,
fucking broken.
is if you look through S rank clears, S rank clears, and scenarios cleared, you won't see either of the top three. You won't. And that's my issue. There has to be something that's leading to this, and I don't know why they're doing it, but they're doing it.
Yeppies on both.
Yippee.
Why you
No,
PPI?
I'm saying eliminations. If you look at the top 3 eliminations, they're not on any of the lists.
No, they're not. They're not on any of the lists. How the fuck do you have 48,000 eliminations, but not have any scenarios cleared or S rank? Like,
And
I
that's the
agree with you.
problem.
The eliminations board is fucking broken, though.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I think what happens is, in a sense, they do a bunch. Well, if they're doing it legitimately, is they're running around in like territory mode or what have you, and they're doing a bunch of killings, and then like in the final hour, around the time where it's supposed to be like, oh, it's time to go to the next week, that's when they're signing in. But even then, to get 48,000.
No, that's fucking broken. They they're either bots or they're not real. There's
Well, the thing I find funny though is like they're so pathetic that they're literally spending how much computing power just to do this? Like, what are you getting out of this just out of being a dick? I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times I'm totally fine being a dick, but usually when I'm doing that, it is such a low cost effort. It's like, dropping a banana peel type thing. Like, drop banana peel. Dick. This takes time, money, and effort. This confuses the shit out of me.
well, maybe they need Titan Fang large, extra lightweight wire, high quality forged steel, and new super durable steel.
No.
I mean, I don't need those things. I don't need any of those things.
Like, no. Literally. I mean, unless somehow they're like, I made a level 1 character. I'm going into into another mode and I'm just doing this. To get to 48,000, they've leveled up to max level. They have... no, this makes no sense. This is literally just 3 pathetics.
Yeah, level 37, Perfected Blade Ultimate, Perfected Scabbard Ultimate, Perfected Gear Ultimate. Yeah, no, this makes no sense. A level 37 character with 22,000 battle XP who has 48,000 eliminations. That's a load of bullshit. The same thing with next one. Perfected Blade Ultimate, 36,000 battle XP. How do you have 36,000 battle XP and 37,000 eliminations? Third rank
It
seems
doesn't matter.
almost reasonable with Fury Blade Ultimate. But still, he's only level 29.
It doesn't matter. like I said, there's some cheating bullshit going on.
Well, the real first place is Wah. The real first
Yeah.
place is Wah. No, it's not even Wah. He's level 19. There's no way a level 19 has a perfected blade ultimate for. Okay, so Wah.
Well, the level 19 is different because go to me. I'm like level 37 as far as this thing's concerned. 27. So it's based on something else. So the level aspect is not correlated to the specifics.
Well, according to this, you're level 39 with a battle XP at 25,000, so I guess
Yeah.
those numbers don't really make sense. I'm level 35 with a battle XP of 16,000.
Well, and every once in a while, I'll say you're like, you're battle level X, and it's like, what does that even mean? That's the problem is, being level 39 for 35 or whatever kind of makes sense because I've been told. But beyond that, I got no fucking clue.
Alright, well, we're just sticking around at this point.
And time to call or cut the stream. Thanks for watching and all that jazz.
Alright, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we will be back on Tuesday with more Attack on Titan and Icarus. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll switch out to something else. There'll be more Attack on
We're switching
Titan.
out to something else next Tuesday, but yeah.
But thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Have a good one.